check this shit. Hopefully it plays the way I think it's going to. You hear that? Oh, you fucking cock.
Up, it died.
Sound good.
There we go.
Hit start over because I knew. Really noted.
Beautiful.
Eminem released a new album called Music to Be Murdered By, but that is not why we're here. We are here because it's Throwing Smoke. UFC just happened, and Uncle Randy's been going crazy on Twitter today, starting with everybody that wants that smoke, baby. Come get it. We're joined first off by Vince, right?
Yes,
First
sir.
man to step up to the bat. I can't wait for this. It's gonna be pumped up. How you doing, sir?
Fucking fantastic. Life is great. Happy to be alive. God woke me up today. He didn't have to, so I'm appreciative.
Well, cheers to you, bud. I appreciate you coming on. We've been buddies for a while now since we started up.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a big fan. I know that you follow the sport. You love the sport.
Day one.
You're always open and honest about your opinions. You don't care what, it's not about what other people think. You give your straight up opinion.
It is what it is.
Even when we've disagreed, I've got nothing but respect for you. But for me, starting right off the bat, let's dive straight into it and see what all of our thoughts were on the main event. Conor McGregor, Cowboy Cerrone. We'll let you go first. Is it Vince or Vinny or Vin? How do you want to? We want to
all of the above. If you want to find me for any reason, that hashtag the V Ramos method will do it. My name is Vincent. Vince, whatever works for me. Yes, sir.
So what
V-play method?
What was that, Joe? Was that
the V? Is it your name? Hashtag the V-play method.
The V Ramos. Vincent Ramos right here. So my method of real estate is like no bullshit, straight to the point, kind of like my commentary. Keep it real. So
that's what's up.
Plug that into Google and anybody can find me. It's the easiest way. Yes, sir.
So yeah, your opinion on
what'd you think,
the main event?
Yes. So this is counter to Uncle Randy. I don't believe that Donald, was paid on the low to take a dive there. What I do believe is he shit the bed like he has done in the past. He let me down tremendously. I didn't bet on Donald to win, but I did take the over. I thought it was going to go past 1.5. I was okay if Conor smacked him up, knocked him out. That happens. But I expected Cerrone to fucking show up, man. He said he's going to blow the roof off his place. He didn't do anything like that. And I feel like shortchanged us of some kind of a fight, a good fight, for sure.
My thought right there, I believe there is some fuckery. Not so much that he got paid to take a dive, but the way that the UFC handled Conor's return. Like, I looked at, out of the people that he could have picked coming back, Donald was his easiest fight by any means.
Absolutely.
And because they let that shit slide, like that's where I'm like, all right, well, they're obviously trying to raise this kid, especially we can get more into this later. If the whole deal with Zuffa Boxing and McGregor, whatever his production company is called. So there's just some fuckery. Like he could not have lost coming back. Like he needed a win, and Donald was the one that could give him that win.
I agree with that. I think the choice of opponent is in Conor's hands more than anybody's, for sure. So I believe he picked that. I said it a long time ago. I thought Donald would be the only one that he could come back to fight and would probably win because I don't think he beats any of the others. At 155, I didn't even think about 170 because he has no business there, really.
Yeah.
I didn't see him beating Khabib, Tony, even Al, any of those guys. I couldn't see him beating any of them. So it was, for me, when I saw it, it makes sense. But I thought we'd have a good fight.
Yeah, I agree. Here's of all the things that Uncle Randy said that's outlandish, I want everybody to understand that this is nothing, ever personal with any of these fighters. I don't know them. I'm not friends with them. It's never personal. I'm just giving my opinion on it. My mind is always open to be changed. So And with this, with a fix, no one will ever know, especially nowadays. It's not like it would have been something where a bunch of people would have known. But actually, my biggest beef right now is the disrespect that's been shown to Tony Ferguson. And let me tell you how. Because they're already jumped to Conor and fucking Khabib. Dana's done it. Everybody in the UFC, and they're just shitting like Tony Ferguson don't exist. Let me tell you, folks, Tony Ferguson can beat Khabib. Tony Ferguson can beat anybody, because if you're on top of him on the ground, you're still in as much trouble as you are if you're on the feet with other fighters. You might be in more danger, because Tony's going to cut you up from the bottom with elbows. He's got a rubber guard from hell. He's Eddie Bravo aficionado. He can bend himself in half, and he's going to be on the attack. He's not going to be trying to stall you or anything. You're going to be in as much trouble down there as anywhere. So that's the first disrespect. What do y'all agree with that, or do you think that's
absolutely?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree that Tony is getting overlooked, because that's already one of the talks of him getting the rematch. They're acting like the Tony fight didn't even happen yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard, though. I think Dana's smart enough. He does chime in. He has to get through Tony, right? Like, that's a real fight. You know, he even said that to everybody about this fight, said that everybody's showing massive disrespect to Cerrone, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a simp or something. Like, I don't believe in the, you know, I know that the UFC wants things done a certain way because that would benefit them financially, but I don't think that it actually goes as far as whispering in somebody's ear, like, hey, you know, go this our way and we'll take care of you. I feel like there are just way too many loose lips out there. I can't see people keeping those type of secrets. At some point, we hear about this, and I don't think we have.
Yeah, and that's where I'm conflicted, right? Because, you know, I love this sport. I know what the UFC was and has become, right? But it's also, I'm getting scared that we're almost in a place where it's going to go backwards, because you got guys like Big John McCarthy. Love him. On his podcast today, though, everybody's shitting all over Stephen A. Smith, right? The analyst for ESPN. ESPN owns the motherfucking thing. You know, it's the deal is done. They've got to bring in their guys. It's not his fault that he's not a fighter or anything. He says his opinion, but it butt hurts these people so bad, despite the fact that he said the same thing that Dan Hardy said, almost word for word. And people were loving Dan Hardy for saying it, but because Stephen A's not a fighter, they shit all over him, you know? And this is, if you take away the voices of dissension in any argument, you go backwards. You take money away. Like, people that discern as far as talk and speculation only put more eyes, more controversy, more money into the fighters' pockets. Or if you want it to be where just fighters can talk about fighting and that's it, then you're going back to UFC 1. You know, you got to let people be able to weigh in and just, you know, whether they're right or wrong, respect their opinion and have the open dialogue.
Right, right. To that point, I can't stand Stephen A. Smith. And I'll tell you why. One, he says whatever he says and get a reaction, good or bad, he's done his job, right?
He knows what he's doing.
Shut the fuck up talking about MMA. I can't think right now, I'm on the spot, but I remember when they first started talking about the UFC, they were giving some stats and some information that was so far left, like it was so wrong. I'm like, man, now I can't fucking trust you when you're talking about some shit that you do know.
Sure.
Because you're acting like you know what you're talking about right now, and you really don't. Maybe he's learned some more since ESPN's really taken over.
Yeah.
But for sure, I can't stand that motherfucker. I need to respect who's giving their opinion if I'm going to care about it at all.
Sure. I mean, but, you know, the ESPN is going to put their most controversial, you know, that's why they inserted it for this exact reason, because they know that there's guys out there like Vince that hate Stephen A. with such a passion, right? And I get it. He's land as shit. That's on purpose, though. People forget everybody's got their thing, right? That their angle, their shtick, and,
Yes,
and that's what they stick with. But you got to be able to at least hear it, and it's not always so personal on the fighters. Now, here's where we get into the may or may not be fuckery with the fucking fight, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not saying the fight was fixed. I will never know. But what bothers me, what I didn't like, I'll give you the pros and cons. The reason why I can't say it's fixed for sure is because as soon as they came out, Conor rushed Cowboy. He threw that straight left missile, missed, and when Cowboy slipped it, he ran into Connor's thigh, almost like a knee, you know, like it looks like it may have even been a knee, but it was Cowboy running into just the lower part of his thigh, and his eye ballooned up. That same left eye that's been ballooning up the last 3 fights.
Yep.
Which makes me worried about an orbital issue that's never healed all the way. And so that's real. I feel like that probably rocked him a little bit. Then the shoulder strikes, which have been around since fucking beginning of time. People act like that's new.
Nope.
That's been around for fucking ever. John Jones has been.
Nate.
But I think as far as the shoulder strikes go, it's because it's not utilized a lot anymore at all, like, or very rarely. Even like toe stomps, like toe stomps never get used anymore. So when they come out, it's
effectively. Oh, my bad. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's been as effective with it like Connor did. That's crazy. That's the hard part. We've seen John, we've seen Nate do that, but it's never really done anything to that extent to anybody. Yeah. For sure.
Well, Connor was fucking rearing them bitches up. I mean, I give credit where it's due. For one, Connor looked good physically. He was very full. He was muscular. You could tell that motherfucker hadn't cut an ounce of weight. He looked really good. He looked strong. He looked like the bigger guy by far. When they were, toe to toe, it was pretty drastic as far as the width and girth. He was much bigger. But where it bothers me is Cowboy, when they clinched after Cowboy was trying to recover from hitting Connor's leg, Cowboy had an overhook and an underhook. His left hand had the underhook. Right arm had the overhook. He takes 4 or 5 consecutive shoulder strikes and never attempted a throw of any sort. Like, I mean, if he's rocked, I guess, I've never been rocked in that position. I've been rocked before and it sucks. So I can't, I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what's in his head. But I feel like he could have done something defensively there.
Sure.
He goes to the ground, turtles up. He does kind of roll like Cowboy tends to do because he's very flexible, but he never grabbed a leg. He had a post there he could have grabbed, look for a sweep. That's armchair quarterbacking. I know that. But you look at the strike totals. You got 19 strikes from Connor, 0 from Cowboy. Has anyone ever seen him not throw a strike?
He kicked once.
Yeah, but it didn't land. It was blocked. Yeah. So it doesn't count in the stats. It was 19 strikes to none.
Yeah.
So what say you about that happening? Unless it's a one-punch knockout, I've never seen a fight where no return fire was given.
So in Cowboy's defense, so I think even too, a little bit, can't really tell, but it looked like maybe Cowboy was ready to go for the touch and Connor fucking launched that left on him. So one surprise there. 2, he came right at him and he did clip the hip or the leg, right? And Cowboy said that disorientated him. And then he takes the shoulder strikes, one of which fucks up his nose.
Yeah.
And then he's a slow starter, and then Connor pours it on, and I was pissed off for sure. Felt like he could have done more. But yeah, man, I just I don't know. I don't know what it was terrible for sure.
Yeah. Well, like all I care about in the discussion of a fixed fight is I just hope that people would acknowledge that in prize fighting, that's a real thing. People act like it could never happen. It never, ever in the world of prize fight. Like, this is a very, when money gets this big, there's always the chance for that shit. Now, yes, we have more access to information now. So where you'd think, you'd be worried about closing loopholes and shit. But to say it could never happen is absurd to me because it's prize fighting.
Correct. I wouldn't say it's absurd, but I'd have a hard time believing Cowboy, red-blooded. People were calling him out ahead of time for maybe taking a dive, right? And so he was like, no fucking way. I'm not, you guys are crazy. Like, he already addressed that. If somebody's going to take some money to do some shit, it might be Mike Perry, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be money. There are a few other people out there like, fuck yeah, give me the money. But I just don't see Cerrone being that guy. And to your point, being able to tie up all those loose ends, some of the camp, who could be aware of it somehow, that never say anything, fighters who don't make any money, look at an opportunity to come out with the story to TMZ. We haven't seen it. Until we do, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just believe that he shit the bed and cost me $250 on the over.
Well, so
okay, he cost me some money.
So how about this though, right? People don't look into it on this regard. So we're in a sport. In the UFC, there's no union protection for fighters. They're contractors. They get a contract. It means nothing. They can be cut tomorrow. If you're on a 6-fight deal, Vince, and Dana doesn't like you, you have a bad performance, you can be cut, even though you got 5 more fights. But if you have 5 more fights and you decide you want to fight for Bellator, they'll hold you up with their best lawyers in America, and you'll never get to fight for Bellator.
Our business.
So in a business where you have no union protection, you have no job security, and, Cowboy, with everything that he is, which I love Cowboy. He's been one of my favorite fighters forever. Joe B can attest to that. Goes to Diaz brothers for me, and then Cowboy. My wife will never pick a Cowboy. But I also know he's a loving father. He's got a grandmother that he loves more than anything and wants to repay. I also know that he lives a very lavish lifestyle. He's even said he hasn't been good with his money. So to tell me that there's no, I know it's obscure and I'm being Eddie Bravo here, but I'm doing it intentionally just to get people to see that it's good. The weather was right, and he's the right guy to pick because he's a company man. Nobody's towed the line harder for the UFC than Cowboy Cerrone, and he should be rewarded for that, which I think was getting this fight was a part of that.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't get Justin Gaethje to cooperate and shit. He's going to do what he wants. He's a wild man. You know that. He's fucking crazy. And he'd probably, I think he would murder Conor, honestly, in a fight. And Jorge's not going to do it. George is going to do, he thinks he's the A side. And, I love some George Masvidal, so it might be. So with all those facts and me just saying, listen, I'm a little skeptical. I hate it because I've never seen Cowboy I know he starts slow, but I've never seen him not get off a punch. Crazy. And I didn't think Conor would be the first one to make him do it when he's fought all the animals he's fought.
Agreed. That's why I bet the over. But I'll tell you, if Jorge gets that fight, I'm betting the house. I'm betting everything. Masvidal by murder. No question. Masvidal by murder for sure. Yeah, please sign me up. Take all my money. I'll be there for one, and for two, I'm gonna bet everything I got.
So what do you do? Do you think he goes from this to Masvidal? That's what you do right now?
Oh no, I don't think he wants to.
No,
he was on the rail today, or no, he wasn't. Listening to all
Kavanaugh
things, he could have set this up beautifully with the Conor McGregor call out post fight in the ring, or even on the stage, the post fight, and he didn't do that. And this guy's jumping over fences, chasing Jose Aldo, and that's the guy he wants next. He knows how to set up the next fight.
Yeah,
it's obvious he doesn't want Jorge. It sounded to me like he wanted to fight Paul Felder, calling out the little bitch on the desk. That's who he was talking about at 170. And then he said, I'm almost there. I'm building up in this division. So he doesn't want Usman or Masvidal right now. He wants Paul Felder. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, he wants that's going to do like Cowboy said he would do and stand and bang. Only.
Yeah.
But Jorge will stand and bang with him, but murder him, in my opinion.
He's saying Felder will stand and bang with him.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, Felder's going to stand with him. They're going to kickbox.
Do they use this opportunity to do the Nate trilogy?
Possibly.
It's very.
I think Dana will set that over Jorge. Like go ahead. He can probably beat Nate. That's competitive at least. Well, Jorge's going to murder his ass.
Still, no, I agree. I don't think Jorge is going to lose to him. I think him and Usman is actually an interesting fight, but we can touch on that later.
Well, I got a little smoke I want to delve out, and I want to see where you guys stand on this because I think it's a real thing. You got Brendan Schaub out there came out and calling Nate Diaz an idiot because he posted not directly but almost directly, because right after Nate, he posted shit's fake. It's all fake. By the way, he's the only fighter that posted that and left it up. Felice Herrig did, and she deleted it. Hers is gone because somebody got to her ass, and she realized, got to straighten the fuck up. I got Uncle Dana and them around the corner. Hell, my ass will be cut. The only one with the ball sack big enough, with a big, huge, stony ass set of balls, Diaz brothers. And his shit is still at the top of his Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And Schaub calling him a fucking idiot. Nate's already got up in Schaub's face before in the back. You know, there's video of it where he confronted Schaub. Schaub might get slapped the fuck up.
Yeah, Schaub's funny. He's funny except when he's on stage. That motherfucker's not funny at all. I was like a masochist, like trying to get through it. Like what? Oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen anything worse. So yeah, he's not funny on stage, but funny as fuck talking shit like that.
Yeah, but he got, I mean, and it's funny, he's acknowledged it, which was smart, calling himself the CM Punk of comedy. You know, clearly got in on street because of who he knows and shit into comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Luke Thomas out there kind of said the same thing. And the fact that these guys that are linked to, you know, ESPN or shows that have a high dependency on the UFC for access and shit like that, you know, are diehard, you know, riding in the paint. Thomas said, if anybody even considers that there was a fix, they're like the gonorrhea of MMA, right? And that's just, that kind of shit's obscure and crazy to me. You know, people can have their own opinion. Most of me doesn't even believe that it could be a fix, but there's a piece because all the fucking little pieces that could happen. And I hate it. And I hope it wouldn't be Cowboy, because I know his integrity, how much he loves the sport, but I also know he's an aging fighter. He's been knocked out a lot. You know, he knows he's on the ass end of his career.
Those are all good points. Let's move on to some more fuckery that was on this card. How about the Claudia Alexa Grasso fight getting scrapped because Grasso came in 5 pounds over, and Nevada.
That's it. Can't say anything else. Unprofessional.
Yeah. It's fucking terrible. I mean, I'm almost to the point with women. I hate to say this. I say it because I'm tired of fights getting canceled, but I know my wife very well. And I do know that when it is a certain time of the month, that water retention is higher. I do know that. I've seen it. I see it with her abs and shit. It's pretty clear. Now, she's not a professional fighter. If she is, she's got to figure that shit out and be able to dial that in and put that as a variable in her weight cut equation, because they use that as an excuse all the time. But with all these fights getting canceled at the last minute, I mean, on the day of weight, if you're 5.5 over after you've been trying to cut, how heavy were you when you came into fight week? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy.
Did she use the period excuse? I don't think so, right? She just
she
up, right? I didn't hear an excuse from her. Right?
Yeah, she threw it in one of her. I read one of her statements. She said, "I'm not gonna just say that it was my period, that it came on. I was gonna say it was the, you know." So she's saying it without saying it, that maybe that's a part of it. She owned it. I don't really have a problem with her, but how do you take care of this as far as women and cutting weight? Do you think it's a weight cutting issue in general? People need to quit cutting so much weight, or more weight class?
For sure, absolutely. Fight at your walk around or you're closer to weight, for sure. But hey, when you sign on the dotted line, they have a calendar. They know when the cycle is. They can do it or they cannot. You know, a man or woman, no excuses. You sign, say you're going to make a weight, fucking get there on weight, man. It's that's terrible for Claudia, who doesn't get paid. That's terrible for all kinds of people, right? Like, just no good, unprofessional, no excuses. Yeah, I wanted to see that fight badly. I like both of those girls. They're both beasts. I was excited for it, but and I think if it was just menstrual cycle related, that she wouldn't have immediately said, "Hey, I'm going to go up to the next weight division." She's having problems getting down, right? So
yeah, she did acknowledge she's going up.
Yeah,
for sure. Which is a smart move on her part too, to satisfy Uncle Dana, because he hates when people don't want to acknowledge that. You know, you got guys that are critical or repeat offenders of this shit, like Kevin Gastelum, guys that just can't get their weight in check, which kills me because they're such good fighters. You know, if Kelvin could get his diet under control, imagine that motherfucker for real, throwing hands at a healthy 170 like he should, at a good solid 170, he'd be murdering motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. Dana was surprisingly okay with Alexa Smith, though. He was giving her tons of credit, saying now she's the sweetest girl in the world, and if she missed weight, then something must have really went wrong.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem the least bit upset with her, which
He
was
didn't. I think it's because she accepted responsibility, like you're saying. She didn't just throw out fuckery, but she covered her bases in her statement. I don't have a big problem with her. I hate it for people that bet, which is a big part of the sport. It's a big part of revenue. I mean, it is Vegas, and it hurts, a lot of people that did that. But hopefully she'll go up 125 and she'll be good to go. I expect she will be. She's a fucking stud of a fighter. But speaking of the women, where I thought the best fight of the night, to me, the best performance was Roxy on the whole fucking card. As far as who outkicked their coverage and performed the best, fucking Roxy, the fucking legend, old school OG, that people don't put enough respect on her name.
Because she's so fucking goofy when she fights.
It's true.
I mean, I think it's valid. Right, because she's so herky jerky, like a mean, fucking just goofy as fuck. But yeah, good for her.
Did you say like Keith Jardine?
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. That's a fantastic comparison.
Yeah,
that's a for real good comparison.
Yeah, she's herky jerky. She's a weirdo. She embraces it, which is great. She's quirky as fuck. Yeah, good. I was happy for her to kind of maybe humble. What's her name?
Macy Barber. Yeah, dude, Macy Barber. Dude, her knees.
As much as you can. I think you were going to mention her cutting Roxy off in the post fight, which just speaks to her mindset, which is it's selfish. It's all about her, and that is what the greatest ever share in common, right? Like Jordan, Kobe, Bird, all these guys are fucking assholes, notorious assholes, because you have to be selfish if you're going to be the greatest. And I think she's trying to be the greatest, and I think that's her personality. She's a selfish asshole. She was trying to apologize to Roxy, but she couldn't even let herself do that. She ended up I think that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to say I'm sorry, maybe for not responding about the bathtub thing.
Yeah,
I think she wanted to do that, but her fucking, all about me got in the way of that, and it came out all odd.
That's a fair point. But where I get the most fuckery from this, and nobody's putting it on him, but I'll always call people to the carpet. People wanted first, some people blame Joe Rogan. They said, I can't believe Joe Rogan gave her the mic. Listen, Joe's got an earpiece in. The truck told him to give her the mic and let her talk. He's getting called by the truck. The truck said, see what she has to say, because she was grabbing for the mic a little. Joe probably would have went to Roxy. But either way, Joe is getting told what to do by the truck, and he has to try to listen most of the time. So I don't put it on Joe. And Macy, like you said, she's a little selfish. She's young. She's only 21, and she's a fucking beast of a fighter, right? But then her dad comes out, releases a statement the next day. Daddy today says she blew her in the first 10 seconds of the fight. All that is so fucking disrespectful to Roxy, because I don't care if she had her leg cut off. Roxy beat the dog fuck out of her, and that just happens. A grizzled veteran just beat her to death. I give her props for lasting. Tough, good chin. I think she can learn from it. I think her knee was tore up there toward the – Roxy even said she thinks she tore it in the second round, which is where I think she did.
Yeah.
But she toughed it out. Good on her. She could have looked a lot better had this been handled better, had Daddy not chimed in. Because regardless, she's now a professional. She's not a little teenage girl that Daddy's got to protect. She's a grown-ass woman in a professional sport where she beats up other women. Daddy's got to take a back seat here, get her little ACL repaired. That shit happens all the time. Remember, Conor tore his to the bone against fucking Max Holloway when they fought years ago. Conor tore it.
They're reminding her of that for sure. I think Daddy's doing what he needs to do to lift his little girl's spirits up and get in her head and say that it happened early. But I bet you they're telling her all about Conor, because after that, Conor is when he came back on a fucking terror. And I'm sure they're reminding her of that exact point.
Yeah, what'd you think, Joe? What'd you think of Macy getting on?
I think Roxanne looked great. I think that knee looks like it hurt like a motherfucker. Her trying to step on it and going out. I'm surprised that the doctor was checking it. That was the first round where he was checking it in between rounds. The first and
into the second round.
Second and third, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the second and third?
Second before the third.
So right there, I'm surprised they didn't stop it if it was that bad where she couldn't even walk.
Well, it's a dumb opinion, first off, for a doctor Because what he did the normal knee check. I've had that surgery for an ACL. He then tells her corner she's got a partial tear. That's a bad medical, because you can't discern between a partial or none or a full from that one. I mean, you can get an idea, and that's going to lead you to an MRI, right? That's where that's going to do. They're going to feel it's loose. All right, there's probably some fuckery in there. We need to do an MRI. But just to tell them for sure, but either way, everybody's blaming that. It's still a fight. People fight with torn ACLs all the time. People fight with injuries. We're getting a little too sensitive now about what people can and can't fight with. They're paid professionals.
No, I get that, but the fact that you had the doctor come in, usually if it's torn, you're not having the doctor come in between rounds to see where we're at.
Well, that's the new world, right? That's what, like, the New York doctor stopping Nate's fight because
that's New York,
and his cut opens up when his eyebrows are pure scar tissue.
That's New York.
Did they check Thiago Santos's leg when he was fucking flopping all over the place? Like, why did they check Macy's leg? Never seen that before.
Right. No, nobody has. That's what they were saying even there. Rogan's like, I've never seen a doctor go in and check the knee like that, massage it, feeling what's going on.
Thiago Santos was falling all over the place for 4 rounds. And I might be wrong. I have to rewatch it, but I don't remember a doctor going in there and checking his shit.
No.
That was just with 2 seconds. That was crazy.
Does that hurt Barbara's chances with getting to Paige, right? Because that was her goal. Like, she wants Paige. Whether it's I think she could beat Paige. I don't know. Paige doesn't impress me for as hot as she is. Yeah. I don't mind the body, man. I mean, I'm not looking all up here. I don't mind this part. Looks nice.
Okay, that part is cute. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying she a 10, but like from here, that stomach, bro. Like, this is stomach. But anyway, does this hurt her chance going forward to calling out her next opponent?
Nope.
I don't think this hurts her a bit. She's so young. She's cute. She's a killer. I think if she learns from all this, we'll remember any of it. But it's a matter of not repeating any of these behaviors that are big red flags if it were to continue, which I don't think it will. I think she'll learn from it. She'll rehab the knee. The knee will be fine. And she'll come in and wrestle, fucking destroy more girls. Paige don't want the smoke. I mean, I know as much as Paige is, she don't want the smoke, and that's fine. She's an Instagram model, that's what her thing is now. She makes more money on that. True. Kudos to her.
Be okay, like Uncle Randy said, because how she pushed, they could have threw in the towel in the 3rd round. They could have waited. She could have quit on her own. Oh, my knees broke out. But she fought. So she showed real fighter heart. Got to give her credit for that, whether she's an Arab, chick or not. Yeah, she fought. She's a fucking fighter. Give her credit. So and there's just more eyes on her. She was on ESPN, right? ESPN headline spot on the prelims. More people saw her grind it out. Yeah, she'll be back and bigger than ever.
And to give props to Roxy, my point with her, what I'm so impressed with is how long she's been in the game, and she's still getting better. Because it's tough to still get better at her age. And I just hope everybody doesn't just pass it over and kind of realize, because in women's MMA, she's one of the pioneers, man, that get left off the list.
Yeah,
been doing the damn thing for years.
Long time, yeah, and she is getting better. It was noticeable in this fight, last fight even as well. She was like, dang, she's doing a lot more. But this time, she actually looked comfortable a little bit.
Yeah, sat down on a jab with Macy that I was like, holy shit, I've never seen her strike and have anything behind a strike. She's usually all about the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, and weird footwork and stuff, like you're saying, real herky-jerky, just like the Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine. Just like that. That was a great comparison. Which other fight you want to talk about, Joe? We got all kinds of.
Well, I mean, speaking of women, we might as well we can go into that one first. Pettis and Diego, that one hurt me. But Holm and Raquel Pennington, you had Holm holding her against the cage most of the time, pulling that, I'm just going to grind into you the whole time, do a little bit of strikes. Raquel's, I couldn't strike like I wanted to or do anything. Dana was upset. I think that Raquel's hands didn't go, but Holm gets the win by decision.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of the fight?
It was boring as fuck. I mean, But it is Raquel's job. I'm not one of those people that are going to outlash a segment of MMA is grappling, is the ability to dismantle your opponent or impose your will on your opponent. Their job is to not let that happen. And, you can't blame Holly. She laid on, leaned on her, put her weight. She was the stronger woman in the fight. What I think's bigger, maybe that wasn't disclosed as much to people, Holly, she had to back out of this fight, I think in November, because she had a tear in her hamstring, a pretty good tear. So they had to let that heal. And if that hamstring's not 100%, anybody that's ever had a hamstring injury, I mean, fuck being on your bike the whole fight. That's going to be terrible. You could twinge that thing at any moment. But Raquel, she's got to be able to get off. Goddamn, that's just the key. I mean, that's part of it. It sucks. I hated to watch it. It was the most boring fight on the fucking card.
Right.
But you lost, though. You can't come in with those excuses afterwards, and say that she didn't want to fight. She did want to fight. She just wanted to lay on you on the fence, and you couldn't do shit about it.
Yes, sir. Well, for me, Holly Holm, I got 2 points on her. One, for me, she served her purpose, right? She kicked Ronda in the mouth, and I called that shit before she got into the UFC.
I did too.
It's on my social media somewhere back then. This is the one who's going to do it. I loved her technique. I was with a bad bitch at Hooters when that fight happened. Kicked her in the mouth. It was great. I'll never forget that. So Holly Holm has served her purpose. I'm thankful for that. But she is terribly boring because she's so robotic and regimented. It's the same the entire time. Like if somebody's not charging at her like Betch Carrera or Ronda, then it's going to be boring for sure. But I also appreciate Holly because I think next to what is that Polish girl's name? Carolina.
Yeah.
Next to her, she's like the second best dressed woman in MMA. I like it. She's hot from here for sure. She's super fit. She looks good up there. And I think a lot of these MMA chicks, they need to pay attention, man. Not going up there with the hat backwards, in jeans, whether they're lesbian or not. Come on, man. Step your fucking game up, please.
Yep. Well, here's what I think has served her. It's almost been a detriment to Holly, is that she trains with the men. So she's learned that body weight. She's had to fight, Lena John Jones in training all the time. They're big training partners. There's video of her out there clinching with him, pushing him up against the wall, holding him there. So her muscle memory has become, I'm going to impose my weight on you. Hell, I can throw guys around. I'm going to throw you around. And Vince is absolutely right that the only time she likes to strike is if she's counter striking. She's not a first. She's not going to go first.
Nope.
And that's just, some people have that, some people don't. Conor, to his credit, will always go first. Always go first. He will missile, he will throw that left hand, or he'll throw a head kick or a knee. He's going to go first. Holly's
Bet
not.
you he doesn't run at George.
What?
Bet you he doesn't run at George.
Oh shit, that would be great. I would love to see how that opening sequence goes. I just want to see it.
He's not running at George. No fucking way. Nope.
Dude, if that fight ever happens, I don't know if I will get that card. Somebody else will have to buy that card. I don't know if I want to spend money, and I already know he's losing. That one hurts. I'm still gonna buy the card because I'm sure it's gonna be stacked. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. But it's why would anybody ever take Conor in a bet? You honestly think he's gonna win? No, of course not. He's gonna get murdered. It's horrible. I can't.
His fans are gonna show up. They're gonna bet on him. They're gonna be online talking gang of shit for sure. I think people don't give enough credit to Conor's success because of his rabid Irish fan base, right? They deserve more credit. Conor's done what he said he's going to, done his part, but those guys are so loud, right? They're loud online, they're loud in public, they buy shit, they're amazing, man. People need to give more credit to those Irish fans.
No, well, yeah, that's true.
I give credit to Conor for a lot of things. I think if anyone could be an example of, I'm no hippie here, but people that believe in manifesting your destiny, he's the number one person to look at that. There's interviews of him when he came in the UFC said what he's going to do, and he's done every single thing that he said. So his lofty goals, which he's always got crazy ass goal. I mean, now he wants to be the boxing, he wants a boxing belt, all this shit, the 170 thing. You know, you can't deny his star. That's on him. You know, he did what he's supposed to do, but he's also entrenched himself so much into the financial result for Dana White that I just feel like there's a conflict of interest sometime in there when it comes to the straight and narrow. And how could there not when there's that much money involved, you know? Because I know about the Zuffa boxing, right? Zuffa boxing has went nowhere. They announced it during the Mayweather-McGregor fuckery. It was going to be huge. You know, they're hoping Conor could get. Now, because of this win, it started up now. They're looking at Conor Pacquiao. That's what I'm hearing. They're hoping to make the first card on Zuffa boxing as the headline being Conor and Pacquiao. And if that happens, what does that say to this fight? That what if it went bad? You know, it's just crazy. There's just so much. I don't know how to wrap my head around it, but fuck, guy's got himself. I know he didn't get ownership points in the UFC like he wanted, but he basically did. And that's props to him.
Yeah, he's a good businessman. But why is Conor always picking on these little dudes? Floyd, old, little, retired, right? He was taller, longer. He was going to be a gorilla in the ring, and now he's calling out Manny, who's even smaller. Like, come on, bro.
I think he just wants their name. But the whole fuckery,
clout chaser.
You know, Schaub was. This is my problem with Schaub. He was in that from the jump, one of the biggest pushers of that fuckery, swearing it was on the up and up, real boxing fight. And I don't care. Nobody will ever change my mind. I watched Floyd carry that fight until he wanted to end it. It's clear. Absolutely. Totally. Absolutely. Everybody that says that was a real box is full of fucking shit. People that say, oh, Conor rocked him. No, he didn't. He didn't hurt Floyd for shit. Floyd did everything he wanted to until his dad told him, let's get this shit over with. Yep. And he did. And that's the way that it is. That's the truth. But that whole thing is no different when they were pushing that false narrative of how real it was. That shit wasn't real, guys. That was a mission. And a lot of people got believe that shit was real. People still swear Conor McGregor went, what was it, 7 rounds that he went, or 8 with Mayweather? Swears he went 8 or 9 rounds with the best in the world and gave it all he could.
I think he went 10. It got stopped in the 10th.
It was 10, yeah.
Yeah, it was 10 rounds.
But Floyd carried his ass for sure until he was ready to put it on him and finish him. Yeah, but Conor's crazy in the head, like Macy and like all those other legends. You have to be. It's all about you. No loss. You have to have a little bit of that, and of course, Conor does too.
Sure. Well,
before we get too deep,
go ahead.
Pettis and Diego.
Yeah, that went like I thought it would go.
Yeah, Diego looked good. Pettis, I don't know. I don't want to say retire. Like I'm nobody to say any of them should retire ever. Do your thing, playboy. But at the same time, he looked like dog shit.
Yeah, I don't think Pettis is a guy that I don't think he has to retire right now. He's not getting like KO'd ugly, but he's a guy that you need to just put him in matchups with other interesting guys that need space to create. If you put a pressure fighter on Anthony Pettis at this point in his career, he's going to lose. And that's just the way it is. You know, you get a guy like Nate Diaz is going to be pressure. He's going to beat the dog shit out. Ferreira did the same thing. He kind of constantly applied pressure. Pettis is the prototypical guy that needs space to create. Everybody knows that. For those crazy kicks and shit, you got to have distance. Be able to do that. That's why he was able to get to Wonder Boy, because they were both needing so much distance. But unless you got other karate type guys for him to fight with, I think you're setting him up to lose.
I missed that fight. I was making pizza.
Why do you lose him by a choke? Yeah, he got choked.
Yeah, I just don't see Pettis really doing too much anymore. And it's why carry on and take damage? Not like you said, not that he's getting knocked out, but you're still taking damage.
Yeah, he's getting injured a lot.
I hear that all the time. I'm surprised that Kenny Florian says it a lot. He doesn't want to see fighters taking damage. They're fucking fighters, They're in a
True.
fight. I'm not.
Yeah.
How come nobody cares about like the old lady who's cleaning the rooms and her back is getting broken all the time? Nobody gives a shit. But that comes with the territory. So does getting your ass whooped and taking damage as an MMA fighter.
Yeah, I'm with you. That it's par for the course. You know, I think these guys know. And the other part that blows me away, right? People were saying this to me on Twitter, like that you're lying, right? Because I'm bringing up this possible fix. Just the thought that just to expand your mind, think on it. Like Eddie Bravo, look into it. But you know, they're like, oh, I'd love to put you in the room with one of these fighters and see. I was like, bitch, you pay me what you pay them. I'll get in that room. I'm your fucking Huckleberry. I swear. Goddamn. Hell, I've trained. I've been in the fucking on the mats, in the fucking local shitty level. I've been there. I'll go in there and get my nose broke. No problem. If you're going to give me millions without hesitation, goddamn. I'll go take the best ass whooping. I'll go toe-to-toe with Ngannou and go right to sleep. Right to sleep. I'm not lying.
I'm not trying
to.
You pay
Doc,
me.
I didn't know you were in town, but I'm not trying to die with Ngannou. You got me.
Shit.
I'm not trying to die.
I'll take that. I'll take that Overeem left uppercut that almost knocked Overeem's head off his damn shoulder. If I know it's going to set my family up for life, I'll take one. Goddamn hell, we'll see where it goes.
Exactly. Like, yeah. Last point on that for me. They get the fame, the glory, the money, the attention, the thrill walking out the bright lights. That's the trade-off, man. They might get a little fucking dumber as they get older. But hey, man, that's the sacrifice they're making for their family. So,
right.
Fuck it. Get damaged all you want in there. Please entertain me.
Absolutely. Well, I've got a question for both of you guys. I want to know, because we've touched on him a little bit, Joe B, but this is a guy that's grown in both of our hearts, even though he'd come off of back-to-back losses prior to his recent phenomenal win, is Kevin Lee. I want to know y'all's thoughts on Kevin Lee. He's, in my mind, a right Kevin Lee, a right one, with motivated, with good training. I just don't know if there's anybody with more tools than that young man. He is scary good if he's right.
Yeah, as long as he stays at TriStar, dude, he looks great. Like his first fight there, he looked phenomenal. It looked like he's learned a lot. I worry about the staph affection that seems to keep coming back, or whatever that giant third tit was, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it was a horn coming.
Second time was an ingrown hair.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Dude, no way.
Ingrown hair.
Dude,
second time.
That thing was huge.
Yeah.
But he looks good, doesn't he? Like, why do
he looks great.
He went on today, and it was funny. His interview today was classic Kevin Lee. He was like, George Masvidal's whack. Conor McGregor's whack. Tony Ferguson's whack. And you know why he's doing it. I know all that. I'm not an idiot. But, you know, he's the guy that he's so young and he's so good, so athletic that if he's right, he's dangerous for any of them motherfuckers. You can't just point him, put him to the side like he's not relevant.
No, I think he can be a champion at 155 for sure. And I think he was on his way there when Robert Flawless was alive. But that guy, killing him, committing suicide, fucked with him tremendously.
Sure.
He got Faraz in his corner, and he said it on Joe Rogan or somewhere that he can let go of control and listen to this guy because he respects this guy like he did Robert. And that's what was missing when he was losing. And he's on, man. So as long as he doesn't have staph or an ingrown hair, and that's somebody that he's listening to in the corner that he can really, let go. Yeah, I can see him being a champion at 55. Absolutely. I thought he was going to get there. What was it against Al? He didn't perform, and then even I don't know another recent one, but it was like, I was disappointed then. But I know it was because his coach was gone, the staff was with Tony, right? That was still a great fucking performance with Ferguson, and he had staff. So those two things taken care of, I'll ride with him.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's another interesting point. What about old Olenek, the fucking Russian savage, damn ripping you off your arms or choking you with an Ezekiel choke? First guy to have a pro MMA win in 4 different decades.
Crazy.
God,
dude, he's had 70. Yeah, 70 something fights overall. He's 58-13-1. Like it's crazy, dude. And I mean, I felt bad for Morris Green. I thought he came out, he looked pretty good, but it's just
Real
the
good.
leagues of experience. There was no chance. But I'd like to see Maurice go again. I mean, look at the first time on a pay-per-view, so maybe put him on a prelim or something. I want to see what else he has. But God damn it.
Yeah. God damn. Don't be taking Uncle Randy's tagline. God damn.
Hey, I'm telling you, Mari.
Olenek's a different beast, dude, man. That guy has so much fight knowledge. It'd be crazy to go against him.
I was pulling for him. I thought he was going to be Gordon Ryan in that quintet super fight jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you guys follow that. But he went up against the king, Gordon Ryan, one of the best to ever do it, no-gi style. I heard him say something in an interview where he was like, ask Gordon what happened when we trained later. I don't train all the time. I don't train all the time. We rode a few times. He didn't want to say it, but I think he was alluding to the fact that he might have caught Gordon. And I wouldn't be surprised. That dude's squeeze and technique is great. It's crazy.
Yeah, but allegedly Patrick Cummings made fucking Cormier cry during practice too. So
no, that's not believable though. I don't know. Just watch that interview. Like you'll see. Maybe Uncle Randy can check in the community. I think he might have got him somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Ask around myself.
I don't. For some reason, Russian guys, I believe every word they say. I feel like they don't have it in them. Like they'll be lit on fire as kids if they lie. In American shit, we all get used to being able to tell white lies and embellish our shit for our career. It's kind of our culture. But you even saw Khabib after his fuckery with Conor. He said, look, guys, I got to go face my dad. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
This is no good. This is not my best side. I'm going to go get a spanking from daddy. And he meant it, So I believe if he's, I don't see them as really, they don't know how to promote through lies and shit. But what's more impressive to me is at his age, he's still willing to walk through fire and eat whatever you got just so he can get to a limb or something to get an underhook or something and drag you to the ground and then squeeze you to death. And how he squeezed Maurice Green in the first round for the last minute and a half, full bore squeeze, and still had any gas is unbelievable. I've been rolling before and I've squeezed full bore for 10 seconds and been gassed.
Done.
A 10-second every ounce you got squeeze is like repping out 100 bench presses, at your heaviest weight when you're really hammering down. And it wasn't fake. You could see Olenek's fucking arteries in his skull about to explode. Props to Green to defend, though. And I'm with you, Joe. If he can get with a striker, he's so big and long. I think he's a beast.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him go.
Got the ass end of the draw right there with old Olenek. Fuck.
But yeah, I liked it. Overall, dude, I thought it was a good card.
Yeah, it was all right. I was, wasn't like my tits weren't blown off from all the fights, but
I don't think it should have cost $5 more. That's not what I'm saying. That part pisses me off too. But for the first card of 2020, it wasn't bad. I'll take it. There's been a lot of fights for this year.
Well, I want to know from your guys' perspective. I want to get 3 predictions right here of who Conor fights next. I'm going to go. I think he fights George Masvidal before May. Boom. I'm going to say it. I think he fights him before May.
Whew. Let's see. I know Kavanaugh said on Ariel he wants to fight summertime before the summer starts again. He didn't take any damage with Cerrone, so there's no medical suspension. Well, I think they're gonna have to make. I don't think he'll get Masvidal yet. I think Felder. I'll take it. It's not huge for me though, which is weird. But I don't think I want that Nate Diaz trilogy. Just give me that shit. That's what I want. He's gonna fight Nate. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be some surprise thing. And then the winner of that can go for Masvidal again in that baddest motherfucker belt. Or the 170. Go after Usman.
What?
That's
Okay.
right there. Respect on Usman. He's boring to some people, but that's a cock strong motherfucker, boy. Just a bull of a man. I don't care if he's not the most savvy with his stick and shit, and he doesn't have a whole lot of swag, but what he's got is a whole lot of dick and a whole lot of muscle. He'll hurt a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know about his dick, but he's definitely going to wrestle fuck Conor for sure. He's definitely going to wrestle fuck that dude. Conor needs to hush with Usman, hush with Masvidal. If it does happen, if he does get Masvidal, it'll be International Fight Week, right?
That's June, right?
Yeah, I think July, right? International Fight
July 4th week.
Yeah. But I think it's probably. Isn't Nate getting his surgery, getting plastic surgery, all his scar tissue and shit taken care of?
Yeah, I thought that he was already going to have had that where they shaved the brow down because Nick had that.
You got to recover from it, right?
Yeah, you got to let it settle for a little bit before you can get slapped.
I think maybe it's Paul Felder in a 170 tune-up. For me, what I heard McGregor say is he's just getting there. He's not at the top yet. He's trying to build into that weight. I think Paul Felder fits that bill. Irish Dragon, the real Irish, they're going to find some angle there. Maybe that's Conor's next fight. It's not Habib. It's not sliding into that. I'm not even going to try to think that fight's not going to happen. That fight's happening in April. I think my money would be on Felder, Felder fight. Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. And I'm actually a fan of Felder. I think he's had some bad matchups, but he's tough as fucking iron. And that would be an interest. Like I would want to see that to see how it ends up. I think it'd be a war because you don't finish Paul Felder. He doesn't get finished.
Bad like Cowboy, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's not going to lay down. But that was my last question for both of you guys that I wanted to ask anyone that we were talking to tonight is, does this fight do anything to Cowboy Cerrone's legacy? And I'll answer first for me because people think I'm saying that he took a dive. Again, if Cowboy Cerrone did accept a dive in his predicament, as sad as this is going to sound, because I'm an ethical man, I would understand it where he's at in his career with no union protection, blah, blah, blah. Not saying he did, probably didn't. If he did, though, I don't discredit Cowboy's fucking career because he's been a fucking monster. He spilled a whole lot of blood for a lot of folks for their entertainment over the years. And I love him for that. I don't think it tarnishes his reputation or legacy in my mind. What do you guys think?
I don't think it hurts his legacy at all. Like he's established way before this. This was his payday. He's wanted this fight. He just deserved this fight. That red panty night. He deserved that large check. I haven't seen anything have said who's made anything yet as far as numbers. But yeah, I imagine he's made the most that he's ever made. That's usually what happens when you're fighting Conor. You have the ability to negotiate that.
Well, that's a great point that I want to talk on. I don't want to interrupt you, Joe, but I forgot all about this. Thank you for bringing it up. The Luke Thomases of the world, the fucking Ariel Helwanis and Brendan Schaubs and shit, they come out talking about these fighters pay and wanting to act like they know. We get the disclosed amount of what they make. Cowboy got like, I think, $200K disclosed.
That's it.
With his base for this fight. He got $200K. I think Conor got $3 million disclosed. Now, the bulk of any money that any fighter gets, and Israel Adesanya has said this on record. He said, all of y'all need to shut the fuck up. None of y'all know. It's the undisclosed money that we really get paid. So don't pretend that you know what we make, because you don't. Anytime any of them say what they think, it's pure speculation, because the UFC, to cover their ass, will release the disclosed. But dude, there's deals and wheels and locker room bonuses. I'm not talking about the fight of the night bonuses. Those are disclosed. It's the undisclosed money where Conor gets 30 million or, 20 million, whatever it is. And Cowboy gets that 5 million, 4 million, 3 million that set him up with this fight. So we don't know is my whole point.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Like what they're going to get, and we'll never know. So people that want to have these arguments, that's why I want to make it clear. I'm not saying I know shit, because I don't. And at the end of the day, neither do you. So we're really just pissing
yelling at each other.
Just talking on.
Talking that shit.
Just talking. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it tarnishes his legacy. He's a company man. He's gonna be there no matter what. They're like, they'll call him tomorrow and be like, "Hey, I need you to fight somebody at a back out." He'd be like, "All right, dude, let's fucking sign that line." He don't give a fuck. He's coming in the bank. That's the one thing that makes me believe that he didn't take that dive. But I get we're gonna pay you more than anything. You just don't do anything, and it'll be over real quick, and you'll be fine. But I don't think it hurts him. He's gonna. I mean, who's next for him though? That's more the bigger question. What do you do with him now?
That is my
You can't beat Masvidal. Does he go back down to 155 for what? To sit there? He's already fought Gaethje, lost. He's not gonna fight Tony. Not gonna fight them. Like who? What's next? What do you?
It'd be a test for the next up and comer, whoever makes their name. Right? He's gonna get some time off for sure. Legacy absolutely doesn't tarnish it. Been watching that dude since the WEC. He's a fucking badass.
Shout out to the WEC.
But am I going to get all hyped for a Cerrone fight anymore, thinking this dude's going to fight to the bitter end? Absolutely not. He fucked me over with this one, so I can't give him that. But you can't wipe away his legacy and what he's already done. And fuck Ariel Helwani for sure.
Well, so that's a great point, though, what you're saying. And I think people are going to think that's, and I've had a problem with this, Joe will tell you, where people put this negative connotation to guys that are gatekeepers. I don't think that's a negative fucking thing. You got to have gatekeepers. You got to have guys that will test up and comers to know what you got in your crop. And those guys have job security. They're needed, and they've got to be there if you want to have a good brand and if you want to be different than Bellator. If you want to set yourself apart, you got to keep good gatekeepers around so you know what your prospects can really do. So, yeah, I think that's the perfect wheelhouse for him, is to be a guy that says shit, like he did with Darren Till. Cowboy kind of took that, got that ass, but he took that Darren Till fight to see what they got, Yep,
agreed.
All right, so what's the next card? Is it Khabib and Tony?
No. It's got to be that.
February is.
Who is the next card? 247. Is it John Jones? John Jones and Reyes?
I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Dude, Jones all day.
Early thoughts on that one. There's something in my ass hairs that tells me Dom's going to be tougher than John thinks, because they're so similar if you look at their metrics. Like, it's almost a mirror image. But John Jones brings that fucking smoke. He's a different animal.
What about with no picos, no picograms? What? John is definitely the greatest of all time. He's done some dynamic shit. Beat the best when they were at the end of their run, and even still the best. But has he had a really outstanding performance since he's been in trouble?
Nope, I've said that.
His second fight with Gustafsson wasn't bad.
Well, the head kick of Cormier was probably his best when he made
but that's where they were talking about the steroids, and that's when all the fucking picograms started, was that fight with Cormier where he head kicked him. It's like, oh well, he was really hot. But it's like, yeah, but that was from the one before. That's not now. That's what started. Every time he pisses, it's fucking picogram for months. I haven't heard shit on drug tests going into Reyes.
Well, I think
seen anything about it.
UFC is about had their head full with USADA. I think because USADA's got more now backpedaling than they've had of findings. They've done more. Oh, we fucked up lately because their tests are so fucking sensitive that they're picking up all this bullshit.
Right.
But, I mean, if you ask me, as a fan, fuck it, man. I love the roid days. But if it's not going to be roids, with John Jones, I think he needs a dance partner that's going to come in there and earn his respect. Nobody's got his respect. You know what I'm saying? Since Gustafsson in the first one, he needs somebody that's going to hit him and he'll be like, oh shit, this is like my big brother whooping up on my ass. I got to, tighten up and not play with my food. So is Dominic Reyes going to be that guy? I don't know. Because knocking out an old Chris Weidman that's had his neck replaced and has been knocked out, to me isn't very impressive, but they got to find John a dance partner.
Because he won't move up.
Yeah, he get his ass whooped if he moves up. He's too light for those big guys, man. Ngannou's too much. I don't think he needs to handpick the right heavyweight for sure if he's going to do that. I don't think he'll be the heavyweight champion. I don't think he beats Ngannou, Stipe. Those dudes are beasts.
Oh yeah.
But if DC don't fight soon, man, his time is going to be up. Like he's got to hurry up and get a fight, and they can't get Stipe signed because from what I've heard, Stipe's eye is permanently fucked. But he still is having eye problems. He's actually got a legitimate health issue. And if you ask me, from watching Stipe, I know people don't want to say it. He seems a little punchy. I mean, he's taken a lot of heavy shots over the years.
You saying he's got that Michael Bisping?
No, he's more of his speech, you know.
No, I mean with an eye.
A bad eye that, you know, looks off into the sunset from old who was it? The fucking
Vitor.
Steroided Vitor kicked his eye out.
So maybe that's how John gets to the heavyweight championship is if Stipe can't go anymore because his eye is really messed up, then he vacates, and then you got DC and Jones at heavyweight. And that's how he can become the heavyweight champion, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be the only way.
Yeah, I don't see
Ngannou. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. I know he's not a flashy talker and shit, but Ngannou is a scary motherfucker. And we had a question. I was asking Uncle Randy, how many millions would it take get in there one time with Ngannou? Let me tell you, 1 million. If you really give me 1 million cash, I'll go in there and get knocked the fuck out. I'm not claiming I'm going to do a damn bit of damage. I'll go touch gloves and go to sleep. And, you know, I'm not claiming no bullshit. For $1 million, hell, I can make that last, goddamn. Hell, Uncle Randy can turn that million into millions, goddamn. I may never say the same again. It ain't no big shit.
Before we get too long, what's your last thing for like throwing smoke? Something that you want to say to piss off the fans or anybody that might hear this?
What Uncle Randy wants to say is, goddamn, these damn little nerd bitches, right? That had never even put on a pair, goddamn. Had never been in the damn gym, hadn't trained, hadn't even sniffed the locker room, son. I don't need your opinion, goddamn. Hell, just because you disagree with Uncle Randy doesn't mean you got to immediately try to damn one-up me or say I don't know my shit. Hell, we don't have to agree, goddamn. We can be respectful adults. When I look at you and you look like a little bitch, goddamn, I can't do anything with you. I can't win with you. I can't even talk with you. So tighten it up, goddamn. Some of these MMA nerds get on my damn nerves. So.
Nerds online, period. Fuck all of you who talk shit online like you're going to do something. Fuck you and fuck Ariel Helwani. That's what I got to say.
I think mine is I'm waiting to hear Pettis's excuse. I know he's suing USADA right now for opening up that bottle because he got a little cut on his hand or something. I want to hear what the excuse is of why he couldn't get it done against Diego.
Yeah, that's not a good look, man. I hate to say that, but for fight, you know, that's not a good, powerful fighter look to be suing over a piss glass. I mean, I don't know the
Just show me pictures. Show me pictures.
I don't know how that could really be a huge super issue, but I'm interested in that too, goddamn. And hell, Luke Thomas, here's my real hot take, Uncle Randy. What I want to see is I want to see one of these fuck faces, Brendan Schaub, Luke Thomas, that talk all that shit on Twitter about anybody that thinks there could even have been a little piece of a fix in here. I want to see him say that straight to Nate Diaz's face. None of them got the ball sack to do it. I know Schaub isn't going to do it, goddamn. Hell, he's already been confronted once by Diaz and said, oh, I don't want the smoke. Diaz brothers will roll up on you and slap the fuck out of you.
Schaub's a big dude, though.
Yes, he is.
Schaub's a big dude, though. Nate don't want that.
Dude, Nate flat out asked him in the back. There's video of it. Nate was like, shit, but, you know, thought we were boys and shit, but you can get it, goddamn. And Schaub's like, hey, you don't have any of that. Because, you know, Nate, you got Nick. It's automatic, you know.
Yeah. You got the whole Stockton crew. It's automatic for sure.
The whole damn rigmarole.
You know, fucking Jake Shields shattering Cub Swanson's knee.
Oh,
that was Cub's fault. He turned the wrong way. That was all Cub. He fucked up.
Yeah, I agree.
He shouldn't have been going with Jake anyways.
He shouldn't have been. A huge weight.
They have 5 people, depending on who goes first and who stays in. That guy stays in, the next one comes out. So they had a weight disparity, but that was part of the competition. But that was Cubs, and he'll say it. He turned the wrong way. He fucked up.
Yeah, it was a freak accident, though. I mean, I've rolled those shits. I mean, it sucks. It's fucking terrible. I hate that for Cub and anybody else. But that shit happens, and it's terrible when it does. But his knee, you know, that was just a bad split-second decision on Cub's part. And like Vince is saying, I don't think he harbors any ill will. I mean, I think it sucks for the timing because Cub is an aging fighter. But he's in such good shape and shit. And he's in that Dillashaw camp with the fucking blood doping and shit. Hell, he'll be fine. He'll dope up a little bit, get that goddamn thing healed up real quick. My question is, AJ Dillashaw, that bitch comes back. How do you think he's going to get treated?
Boo!
You for cheating like that intentionally. And I don't mind if people slam a little, test, to pump up a little bit. Not in baseball. I don't care. That's cool. But when you're hitting somebody, when you're punching somebody, you can't cheat like that. EPO giving you that endurance, so you can outlast the tired fighter. Fuck you for cheating, man, for sure.
Well, and it makes it look even worse, right? He's like the Lance Armstrong of MMA, right? Because he was so diehard that it's not me and fuck the cheaters and no alpha male were the ones that were doing steroids. Come to find out, he popped, and I think he's, I think there's going to be a big difference in fighter. I knew he had been roiding for years. I've said it to people before he got busted. He had the orangutan nipples, goddamn. I know steroids when I see him. Some bitch has gyno, goddamn. He'd cut weight and get super skinny, have these little puffy nipples like a damn 11-year-old girl. I know he does steroids. Goddamn, hell, it doesn't take nothing. I tell people, you're stupid. He's clean. Bitch, he's got orangutan nipples. He's done steroids. Nipples are turned down, goddamn. That's not natural. That's from inducing testosterone, goddamn, and not having a proper hormone.
No, you didn't PCT, post-psychotherapy. He didn't do that.
He didn't run his fucking Novadex and Clomid, goddamn. Hell, he didn't do it right.
Hey, goddamn. You know what you're talking about.
Talking like a couple steroid users.
Hey,
that's what I mean.
You got to know your shit. I got it all around. Uncle Randy knows everything. We do got a good question here. I want to answer from
all right.
Here. Who's the number one fighter in the UFC? Putting Conor aside, who's the face of the franchise?
I mean, number one fighter is John Jones, right? Or
I like that.
Right now, as a face, aside from Conor, I mean, you got nobody. GSP still, really. Who else do they talk about? I mean, Jorge kind of like they're pumping him up a little bit more. He's getting a little more airtime on everything. Every time he's around, they make sure that they show him. He had that spotlight. He had like the YouTube channel that he was putting out. They're helping pump out. Masvidal is actually becoming a face of the franchise, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got to go with Jorge right now, right? Like John Jones, definitely the most dominant champion, but I don't think his numbers are trending like Jorge's are. I saw somebody had posted like the Max Lives, YouTube channel and then all the views, and Jorge is blowing everything away right now. So him and Israel, I think, are the two big time guys, the more charismatic guys right now. And definitely not Henry Cejudo. That dude, terrible, bro.
What a great name.
Garbage, Henry. Garbage.
Doo-doo. That's a hot take.
That's the worst shtick of them all.
Yes.
So bad, bro. When he says bend the knee, I want to just slap everybody, not just him. I want to slap anyone standing next to me when he says that. It's so not authentic that I can't even begin to buy into it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's not authentic. I mean, you saw him come out before he fought DJ. I'm an Olympic champion. Dude, he was such the nice guy. Like, you felt bad when DJ beat the shit out of him. Mighty Mouse fucked him up that first time. Like, it was quick. Just them knees to the body, shut him down. Kind of felt bad. Like, he was a nice guy. And then to come out, I won the belt. I won the second belt. And now I'm laying with my shit all like porno. So, like, you need to calm the fuck down, bro. He almost reminds me of somebody from like Disney Channel trying to prove that they're now an adult.
Never watched the Disney Channel, so I don't know.
I got kids, man. You know what it is. You see them little kids show. As a kid growing up, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Musketeers, you had Britney Spears as a kid fucking pumping out like I'm innocent. And it's like, oh nah, man, I'm here to fuck. It's like, oh, all right. Like I'm an adult now. You know what I mean? Like it's that switch over, and that's almost what he's doing. But because he's not authentic, I mean, I think that's why people hate on Jones so much, right? They were mad because he was trying to play the nice guy when really he was a dick, dude. Just be the dick.
Be the
Be the
dick.
dick.
Fucking be the dick. And I do have one that's worse than Henry Cejudo, and I don't want to mention his dude's fucking name, man. But
It's all throwing smoke, man. Just keep throwing.
Hashtag ass clown for sure. At least Henry Cejudo, it's come up with something that's unique. It's his own. This guy is just copying everything that Conor has done, and he for sure is the biggest ass clown in MMA.
Yeah, I tell you what, this question, like seeing it written right here by Powerful
Bobby Moore,
kind of puts into perspective to me, like, fuck, maybe it is Conor still. Like, I don't even know if it's debate. Like, for the regular people, like, if you got to have a face, who I'm trying to think who they picture when you say UFC, I bet most of them it is Conor fucking McGregor.
Oh, I thought we were excluding Conor.
No, I am. I'm just saying that it makes me think. We are excluded. That's the question, is to exclude him, but it just makes me realize how powerful Conor is.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to go with Adesanya as, although he isn't yet, I think he has the potential to the greatest that there's ever been. I know guys that have trained with him. Warren Thompson trained with him and has told me some stories about him, that he's just another level animal. People don't realize how tough that guy. We're going to find out, goddamn, because he's going with Yoel Romero. Nobody wants to fight that motherfucker. I don't care who you are. You don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke. I don't wish that smoke on nobody. And he still beat Costa in that fucking fight. Yoel got robbed, goddamn.
Yeah, if he has an outstanding performance right there, that's his shot for his stock to skyrocket. If he can do something spectacular there, then he might be the next face of the UFC.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good pick, dude. Stylbender's the shit, bro. Dude, if we have a Fabian H in the chat. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, let me see.
He's throwing smoke to the chat.
Yeah, let's see here. I did see a question from him. I want to get to him. Shit.
Yeah, he asked if you wanted to smoke and hang out. You guys can kiss, and that's what I'm saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail what you were gonna say. I just thought it was pretty funny. I'm watching the chat go up, talking shit, throwing that smoke, baby. That this has been, I think, one of my funnest episodes that I've had. Minus the fact that I won't ever stand again because I've spilt 2 beers right now. First the can, then the cup. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm standing up, this is very different. Not used to it yet. But to be honest, I mean, we're just throwing smoke after smoke after smoke on anybody. Anybody that want it, come get it.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I prefer it, though, this method of when people are talking shit out, because you look at what we said, right? Most of the stuff we agreed on, few things me and Vince disagreed on. I don't have a problem with that. That was good discourse. You don't have to get so damn ugly and dig in all of a sudden like these MMA turds do, these little cucks that they aren't doing shit. They're watching their wives get banged at home, goddamn. I know they are. They're at mommy's basement, son. You got to get it together, goddamn. Get out in the real world. They don't want it.
Shit.
They don't want
it. Fucking cuckolds.
Oh well, shit. Well, this has been a blast, guys. Goddamn hell, I love it. I can't wait. Vince, you're welcome anytime. Goddamn, we love you.
Sure. Okay. Yes. Sad that I missed the last one, and then I was wondering, you guys hadn't been up for some time, maybe the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Break.
With draws and shit. And I'm like, what's up?
God we got to get it. We're gonna put this out there though every fucking week or 2 weeks when we put out an episode. I'm down with putting this out there. If people really have a problem, it's, we're men enough. Come on and talk. If you got real disco, let's see how it is. Now, I know you're not going to do it, goddamn, because you're a bunch of cuckolds, right? Most of you. Now, there's some of you I respect out there in MMA Twitter, good dudes, and chicks that know their shit. Nothing but respect. But these people that just want to disagreeing in hopes that a fighter is going to become their best buddy. That's bullshit. I see right through it. Hell, everybody does. But you come on, plead your case, goddamn. I'm willing to listen.
Bring that shit.
Well,
That's
shit,
fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, let's. I want to give you a chance, Vince. Shout out again where they can reach you with your real estate stuff. You're a big dude in real estate out there in California, aren't you?
Yes, sir. LA County, San Diego as well. We do good business for sure. I can most easily be found. Just type hashtag the V Ramos method into Google, and then my Remax stuff pops up. My websites pop up. That's all you need to know. The V Ramos method. We just keep it real. We do good business. That's it.
That's what's up.
Beautiful. I'm Uncle Randy, married AF, married as fuck on Twitter or on the smoke throwing on that's our Twitter feed, right, Joe? Isn't it at smoke throwing?
On Twitter, yeah, where you're lighting everybody up. Yeah, that's where they're at. That's where you're at.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a stern letter from Luke Thomas here soon, or his people. Because, Luke fucked around, insulted my boy Nate Diaz. I just can't have it. You can't do that. You got to know who you're talking about, because I know you wouldn't say that to them. You'll say it to these cuckolds, because most of them aren't going to do a damn thing. I get it. They're going to say they're sorry, but some of these real ones, you don't want to fuck around and walk up on them. Goddamn hell, you'll learn.
Facts.
Learn. But yeah, you can find it there.
I'm at AnyPod Will Do on Twitter, Instagram, although mainly on Twitter, watching everything go down, watching Uncle Randy talk shit to everybody. And then I'm with the Inner Circle. You can go to innercirclepn.com, find me there, everything there. GTA, we're going back at it again this Thursday.
Grand Theft Auto, goddamn.
Pew pew, man. Shoot some guns, try to do a heist. Do some crime that you can't do in real life.
Hell,
you could just, I'm
I
not trying
don't know
to
how
die.
to do that shit. I wish I could, but I don't know how to do it. Hell, every time I try to learn a game, my son, my 14-year-old, he does all that shit, and he just leaves me in the dark. I don't know, God. I don't have enough room in my brain. It is small. I mean, y'all hear me. I got a southern drawl, goddamn. I'm not a smart man, but I know fighting pretty well. I love this shit. And I know I went a little Eddie Bravo on y'all here, goddamn, but look into it. That's all I'm saying. Look into it.
Look into it.
Yeah, pass the weed, Vince. Pass it around. Bobby Moore, thank you in the chat. And Fabian, I don't know who that is, but thank you for hanging out.
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right. Joe B, send us out, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. This has been Throwing Smoke. You know what it is. Come get this shit every fucking week. I think we're going to start doing this more, bringing you motherfuckers in here. Come get some. Test your knowledge. Test our knowledge.
Hell, we're open. All right, fellas. Well, Vince, appreciate you, man. You know we love you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Awesome. You were like just fucking perfect podcaster. Just jump right into this shit. Champ.
Yes, good shit. Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all be good, boys. We'll see y'all later.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Give me a hit of that.